Alright, I'm on Netflix and I search Blade. And let me tell you, some of these titles that I searched, I'm a little questionable. But unless they have the title, like, the Blade Runner films, the Blade trilogy, Beyblade, the anime, I understand. But there's some movies that, like, just don't fit the bill. I mean, Demon Slayer, an anime, okay. The Adam Project, eh. Netflix, and I'm saying this in the most polite way. I like you guys, but there's some titles where I'm a little questionable. Book of Eli, okay. Full Metal Jacket, it's a war movie and very recognizable, but fitting the narrative, I don't know. V for Vendetta, okay. Starship Troopers, where do I start? But it fits. Like the Dark Knight films, Spawn, I understand, but there's some movies that just don't fit, like Zoolander uh, and Shrek, and I mean, there's Django, which sort of fits because it's a revenge-based film, and Stripes a comedy which has no narrative to it. I mean, if it's like samurai theme, I understand, but y'all could have put the show of Van Helsing as a similar item. Certainly not Richie Rich or Osmosis Jones or Monty Python, as great as they are. You know, but I mean, Freddy versus Jason, I understand, horror, but there are some movies here that just don't fit the narrative of, my searching for Blade, like Seinfeld, like, but nothing about it. Not even the Addams Family doesn't fit the narrative. I mean, Dracula, Netflix Dracula, and Age of Samurai, I understand because, Moneyball doesn't really fit the narrative. It's a baseball movie. The Transformers movies is kind of as I keep scrolling down. I mean, Vampires versus the Bronx. They make references of Blade, but, it's mostly like coming of age teen movies. Like, man, and then there's these movies that don't make any sense, that don't fit the narrative. V Wars, okay, yeah. Okay, Starsky and Hutch doesn't fit the narrative. Marvel anime, Wolverine does. Like the Zack Snyder's Army of Thieves and Army of the Dead, actually, horror, military group, that kind of stuff. Okay, Silver Lining Playbook doesn't fit the narrative. Y'all got to work on it a little more. Yasuke, okay, you know, first African American samurai. I'm a little off. I'm sorry. It's just everything's just throwing me off. Castlevania, okay. What does Cinderella story have to see? This is why I'm sometimes questioning. And it did have, okay, Donnie Brasco, back on the Outback. Well, it did have at one point where I was put it where it had Godzilla '98, but that's because both those movies were in the same fucking year. You know, some of these, same without a paddle. I'm gonna keep searching, keep going. So, Terminator, Anaconda. It's about a documentary group co-starring Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez. Beer Fest. I don't know what Beer Fest has to do with Blade, to be honest. See? I mean, I get Godzilla because they were both '98 movies. But, I gotta do a little more on the explanations, like clarification and accuracy, because some of these titles I'm a little questionable. I mean, Let Me In, I don't have anything to say because Zoe, Chloe Grace Moretz, plays a vampire in that movie. And the story takes place in the 80s, but that's besides the point. And The Patriot with Mel Gibson, Chaos with Jason Statham and Wesley Snipes. I mean, I could go on and on forever, but I'm not going to. But, eh, what's the use? Okay, the Liar Liar Vampire. Never seen it, but what does that have to do? I think I just answered my own question. Yeah. Otherwise, it's great that the Blade trilogy is on Netflix. I'll keep it there. This is probably going to be my longest video on this. Just me rambling about nothing. Fuck. Well, I guess that's it. Happy Easter, folks. Adios.